Steady now.
The oft-forgotten grandfather of the survival horror genre, Alone in the Dark has endured its fair share of sequels and reboots that never quite competed with the likes of Resident Evil and Silent Hill, both of which usurped this progenitor in the pecking order. The New Nightmare, while more influenced by competing horror titles, didn't quite stoke the flames. A 2008 7th Gen reboot was met with similar disinterest, and a 2015 online shooter was critically mauled. A change of IP owner along with 9 years of radio silence later, and a third reboot would arrive in 2024. Reimagining the original game while adding Hollywood star power and 9th Gen hardware into the mix, it's easy to look at this one with skepticism thanks to a recent glut of horror remakes and the series' ropey track record. But in all honesty, this reboot proves surprising in how faithful it feels to classical survival horror. It's a respectable effort. Like its 1992 inspiration, Alone in the Dark allows players to journey into Desierto Mansion as either private detective Edward Carnby or Emily Hartwood. Both are working to track down the missing Jeremy Hartwood, whose disappearance combined with Desierto's reputation as a haunted locale make for an interesting case.
I received a disturbing letter from Jeremy accusing the staff and all the other patients of being involved in some cult.
However, things take a strange turn as it's soon clear things are not all they seem. It's an intriguing tale that takes a few surprising turns, boasts solid writing, and a plethora of enjoyable performances from both side characters and the main duo, performed in motion capture by David Harbour and Jodie Comer for Edward and Emily respectively.
It's okay, miss. You're clearly upset.
No, I don't know what's happening.
Comer particularly nails the emotional highs and lows brought about by the supernatural goings-on during this story. As either character, the game utilises the tried and true over-the-shoulder perspective, as opposed to the static cameras of the original. Desierto Mansion serves as the primary location, as you gather clues and key items to open up more places to explore and get closer to the core of the mystery. If you were to take this game at a surface inspection, things are a little messy. There's a lot of janky moments, such as stuttering animations and perspective glitches, and combat only heightens these issues. Despite boasting solid shooting mechanics, jittery animations and awkward aiming while moving can make taking down the horror monsters trickier than is necessary. Melee combat is also present, but feels just as clunky, with foes often being able to counter you with a flurry of strikes while interrupting your combos. A dodge proves useful at least, especially for ammo conservation, though it's not really needed on lower settings. While a touch messy on the surface, Pieces Interactive seemed focused on creating a faithful interpretation on classic horror games. Desierto Mansion is genuinely fantastic to explore, an unsettling gothic landscape replete with outlandish puzzles involving extravagant devices, satisfying secrets to uncover, and a sometimes flexible approach where you can open certain locks to reduce travel time.
There we go.
Creepy expeditions to old memories, including a bayou oil rig and the French Quarter of New Orleans, while a touch more linear, ooze style and embrace the 1930s setting with gusto. Other touches, such as unsettling optional documents that reveal more of the twisted history of Desierto, a focus towards puzzling which is often enjoyable, and a quintet of endings to uncover through collectible hunting and special objectives, and it feels closer to old school survival horror than other recent remakes. The only slight downside is a lack of scares, perhaps due to the slower pace and jankiness tainting some ideas it attempts. Like the games it takes inspiration from, Alone in the Dark is fairly short.
I do mind. This is private property. You can't just barge in here.
An initial run should see you playing for around 6 hours, depending on your thoroughness. There are 2 campaigns present, albeit with quite a bit of crossover in terms of structure and key events. It also doesn't really weave together, as the character you opt not to use plays a smaller role in the story.
Detective Carnby, where did you go?
Me? You're the one who just disappeared.
It's hard to explain.
That being said, a unique section and dialogue seen only on one side of the campaign mean it's not a total loss. Speedrunners can also have fun, as one trophy requires you to clear the game in less than 3 hours. A ranking system and unlockables might have sweetened the deal, though a harder New Game Plus mode was added to the game for free. Despite some issues with bugs, the presentation here is pretty sharp. The mocapped main characters look and animate fantastically, though secondary characters are not always afforded the same luxury, and some can look quite jittery during cutscenes.
There are no owners here. We both strangers in Jeremy's story.
The environments are excellent, brilliantly lit and capturing the time period with care while blending in eldritch horrors. Performance mode sees the game run smoothly for the most part, though certain moments can see drops, though nothing major in fairness. The sound boasts quality voiceovers, an excellent soundtrack which mixes jazzy ambience with pure terror, and potent effects for shooting, actions like opening doors, and monsters' screeches. It's a shame that some sound issues see the music traps overlapping each other if you restart a checkpoint. Though this is rare. Sadly for fans, Peace is interactive with Shutter just 3 months after the game's release, due to its commercial failure. While far from a perfect game, mostly due to a thick layer of jank on top, Alone in the Dark proves a curiously faithful return for the innovator of survival horror. It reimagines the original with a next-gen sheen, while encompassing multiple elements that define titles from its time, such as deep puzzling, exploration, and opening up a sort of Rubik's Cube to further investigate Deserto Mansion. Coupled with a solid story and enjoyable performances, it should appeal to horror aficionados, especially those weaned on the classics from decades prior. It's likely a tougher sell for the uninitiated, however, but nevertheless, it's a shame we'll likely not see a follow-up due to the currently volatile gaming climate.
Thank you. I'll take a look.
Stay safe, miss.